welcome to another episode of Last Call Games. Now, today we're not reviewing a game specifically, but more, I'll talk about it in a minute. One of the biggest things to come out of E3, at least for myself, was the announcement of the Kickstarter for Shenmue III. Now, a lot of people might be asking themselves, actually it seems like that was one of the overarching opinions is, a lot of the people were like, what's Shenmue? It's a fair enough assessment, or a fair enough question I should say. Shenmue is a series of role-playing games developed by Yu Suzuki and Sega. The first two were published by Sega. Well, because the other one in a minute. First one came out on the Dreamcast, which was Sega's final ill-fated console. And the second one came out in the US exclusively on the Xbox. In Japan and Europe it came out on the Dreamcast as well. But we don't need to talk about why that in a minute. Now these two are only part of an overarching story, and Shenmue 2 ends on a cliffhanger. Now the problem with these two is, these are the only North American releases that they've ever had that I'm holding right in my hand. Neither game, unlike lots of games from that era, these two games have not been re-released in any form whatsoever. The easiest one probably to get your hands on would probably be Shenmue 2, and it does include Shenmue the movie, which is really just cutscenes from the first game strung together to make an overarching story. Well, to do the story of the game. But now, if you haven't played either one of these two games, and you have the means to track them down, unfortunately, both of them have gone up in price a lot on the secondary market since the announcement of Shenmue 3. But if you have the means to get these, I strongly suggest so. The first game was legitimately one of the most emotional video games I've ever played. It's one of the few that's actually that can actually elicit real emotions. And of course this is chapter 1 out of I think 11. Then this is chapters 3 through 5, I want to say. Now, Shenmue 3 and possibly 4, they haven't been exactly clear about it, but we'll continue the story. So, the main gist of it is, I'll use this cover because this one's bigger, is the main character that you play as, Ryo Hazuki, is on a quest to avenge his father's murder by this man, Lan Di, which happens at the very beginning of Shenmue, the very first game. And throughout the game that takes him from his hometown to Hong Kong, where he is in this game, to points beyond. I don't know what happens after that because this game is the only other one that's come out. So, okay, I'm rambling on quite a bit, and the video I'm going to show is 15 minutes long. Basically, it's an incredible story, and the fact that it hasn't been redone in some form or another is terrible. But as you can imagine, I'm not the only person who's made a YouTube video about this. Actually, I'm like the last, because I'm making one right before the Kickstarter ends. Kickstarter ends on Friday, and as of right now, they're at about 4.7 million. Actually, I can pull up the number on my phone. Technical difficulties. They passed 4.7 million, and of the 2 million that they were originally going for, but that was for a bare bones experience. Well, actually, that passed it. $4,848,505. Now, the scope of the game will change based on how much is pledged, which is an important factor. But the fact of the matter is, the more money that we can raise for this, the better. Which is why I'm pretty sure Friday is the last day. I think it is Friday. Friday, or the last day of the Kickstarter campaign. I'll post a link in the description below for it. I'm not going to command anything, but I would like it if every person that sees this video, whether you have a pledge or you don't have a pledge right now, if you could just pledge $1 more. Like right now I'm at the $60 tier, so I'm getting the PlayStation 4 digital copy, or physical copy. That's why I upgraded. On Friday, I'm going to pledge up $1 more to $61. If everyone who watches this video, I have like about 1,100 subscribers right now, every single one of them could add $1 more, that's $1,100. And $1 will buy you, well, a cup of coffee or whatever you want to say. $1 more. And then we can have the Shenmue game that we've always really wanted. Okay, that said, I've rambled on quite a bit. Back to to the original question. If you haven't played one of these two games, because for some reason everyone who fucking subscribes to me is like 12 years old. What the hell's up with that? But that's beside the point. If you haven't played these two games, maybe you didn't have a Dreamcast. Maybe you had a PS2. Whatever. Maybe you weren't alive when the Dreamcast was relevant. A lot of you'll be asking yourselves, what's Shenmue? Well, Sega answered that question in 1999 by releasing a very in-depth demo of the game titled What's Shenmue? It was only released in Japan. There were two releases. One came with I believe Famitsu magazine, which is one of the largest video game magazines in Japan. I'm not sure how the other one was released, but regardless, over the past 15 plus years, the fans have been translating the entire demo into English for the English-speaking audience, like myself. Which is why, right now, I'm going to go through a playthrough of What's Shenmue, so you can see what Shenmue is about. Now, the setup for the story behind this demo, or the story of this demo, is different from the story of the actual game. In the story of this demo, you are still playing as Ryu, and there's a few other characters that are in the game that I'll point out during the game, but you're tasked with protecting the president of Sega of Japan at the time. I can't remember his name at the moment. And you have to protect him so that he can release Shenmue for the Dreamcast. And obviously it won't answer all of your questions about what Shenmue is, but hopefully you can play it, you can watch it, and you can see what it's about, why we're all so excited. Obviously it doesn't have the emotional heft, it's only like 15 minutes long, it doesn't have the emotional heft that the real game has, but you can at least see how immersive it is. In Shenmue 1 and 2, I almost dropped them. In both games, you see you can interact with anything. It is a very, very open world. most stores you can go to, you can talk to literally anyone. Everyone is dialogued in the game. Actually, I reviewed the first Shenmue, which I'll also link to in the description. Actually, I'll just post a annotation like right here, right now. I'll also link to it in the description. But every character is voiced, which is, for the time, was very rare. And which is also why it took so long for them to fan translate it, because they had to translate every single character from the game into English. So, without further ado, because I've probably gone on for like 15 minutes already, what's Shenmue? Yeah, you can even see that they added the English translation part to the loading screen. Now, this game has quite a bit of loading, I'll admit. I cut out some of it, the parts that loaded a lot. Okay, here we are. Now they do this part it's in the passport of the actual game, where a character will explain parts of and features of the game. The only one I'm going to do is Shenmue's prologue that explains like the backstory.
海を渡りて現れり若者姫し力いまだ知らずかの身を滅ぼすこともかの願い叶えしこともそのもの勇み立つとき我を求めん共に荒れ野の道を行かん待ちて願え外交は我の古よりの定めなり
that this prologue is actually in the full game too, as the beginning of the game. That or it's in Shenmue 2, but something like that's similar to this.
前より四方王その翼によりて四風を生むがごとく漆黒の世は広がりしも明星は一つ輝き
And
長き物語は今
now, beginning.
始まれり
Okay, so now we're going to cut straight to the part where I actually started the game. Yeah. I told you the loading screens on this are really, really, really long. And the full game has the notebook too, and it'll automatically write down whatever you need to know in the game.
Tom, Yukawa って人見なかったか? Yukawa? No, 知らないね。その人がどうしたの? 後藤って人に頼まれたんだ。探し出して守ってくれって。Oh yeah, Tomo.
This is actually the first time I've actually heard the Japanese voice actors from the game.
Okay. お互いに別れるね。よし、トムは向こう、俺はあっちだ。
Now this is in this takes place in Dobuita, which is the third section of the game, or the third area of the game that you get to play through. It's arguably the largest, I think, or at least the one you can do the most stuff in. And apparently good luck means the same thing in Japanese and as English. Who knew? So yeah, basically you have to find Mr. Yukawa. Or yeah, Yukawa. As I said earlier, you can talk to anyone in this that you find.
トキさんって間って花屋の？
あの人商店会の会長で顔が広いからな。何か耳に入ってるかもしれないぞ。
わかりました。すいません。
何か
この辺に間って花屋ありませんでしたっけ？
さあ、知りませんね。どこかのお店で聞いてみたら？
わかりました。
I think that might have been a part of an actual like error in the game.
この先は本編でどうぞ。
And you can't actually go past there in the full version and talk, and it's just equally as
おばあさんいるかな？
ごめんなさい。今出かけてるの。私が店番で。
そうか。ちょっと聞きたいことがあったんだけど。
聞きたいことって？
湯川って人を探してるんだ。
湯川さん？どんな人？
メガネかけててグレーのスーツを着てるんだけど。
さっき見かけた人かしら。
どこで？
スズメ公園の方で。
その公園って？
スズメ公園よ。この先のゲームセンターの裏手にある。
わかった。
in the Japanese game has real Coca-Cola, and the full version does too. They both have officially licensed real Coca-Cola. Fanta. Don't you wanna? I didn't even know they sold Fanta in Japan. In the US version, they replaced it with a generic kind, probably, almost certainly because of the licensing reasons. It's just really interesting that they have official Coke cans there. Though I think this is late 90s Coke design and not 1986, but that's completely beside the point. We just passed the tomato convenience store, which isn't open in the game.
ゲームセンターの近くにいなかったかしら。
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, everybody that you walk up to, you can press A and talk to, or run into.
公園ありませんでしたっけ？
いや、知らないな。違う人に聞いてもらえる？
Yeah, I think some of those might have been translation errors, or they could have just been in the actual game or in the demonstration disc that they were a little bit off. There's the arcade, and here's the park that you go to. There we are. I want to say you do something else in this park too, in the real game.
ここにメガネでグレーのスーツの人来ませんでしたか？
ああ、その方なら確かに来ましたよ。
ここにその人が？
ええ、先ほどその方に助けていただいたんです。
助けてもらった？
ええ、私がゴロツキどもに絡まれた時、その人が間に入ってくれたんです。
それでどうなったんですか？
喧嘩になる寸前でしたが、
This is a very long
他にも人が
conversation.
集まってきたんで、何事もなく済みました。いやー、今時珍しく勇敢な方ですな。
Such courage.
その後
from the
どっち行
Sega
ったかわかりますか？
chief executive.
さあ、ゲームセンターの方に歩いて行きましたが、
ゲームセンター。
Now, in the American version of the Dreamcast game, all these are voiced. All the lines are voiced in English by English actors.
お試しソフトじゃここまでなの。
And actually, past there, really the only thing that's past that is just the bus stop to go to the harbor. But that's later in like the last disc of the game. Loading, loading. Something that's really interesting is that in the US version, that's actually just a jukebox and not a slot machine. I guess that in the US version, they didn't want to bump up the rating too much with gambling,
はい、何ですか？
but that's just a really interesting little thingy.
ああ、湯川さんならここに来たよ。本当ですか？うん、名刺ももらったよ。その名刺見せてくれませんか？まあいいよ。裏に何か書いてあるけど。すいません。この名刺ちょっとお借りしていいですか？ま、いいか。ありがとうございます。
Business card. Also interesting is that that all these games are playable. All these games are playable except Afterburner isn't in the arcade in the official version. QTE and the QTE title and Excite are both in there, as is the Darts and Hang On. And Space Harrier, which turn. There we are. Space Harrier, which is right there, which is actually the first time I ever played it. But Afterburner is just like completely deleted. I'm not sure if it's a US thing or if it was in the Japan version too. But other than that, everything is in the exact same place. Just something interesting you notice between this pre-release version of a game and the full release that you got later on. Along with the issues about the localization efforts. But a lot of this architecture is still in the full game. A lot of this looks the same as it does in the real game. Oh my god, it's Clue.
アジア旅行者。
Yeah, and as I said, the game automatically writes down stuff in your notebook, which also makes it easy if you come back later after not playing it for a while. So we've got to go over to the Asia Travel Center and not get run over by a motorcycle. Go over to the Asia Travel Center and pretty much just wait there for an hour and a half. Now the game time takes place where... Yeah, here's the tomato convenience store. It's closed in the game, but then it opens up... Or it's closed here, but it opens up later. Oh, I forgot about this.
Oi, ちょっと待ちな。てめえどっかで見た面だな。えのきさん、こいつスカコの葉月ですぜ。ほう、てめえが葉月か。噂には聞いてるぜ。相手してる暇はない。俺に構うな。そっちにはなくても、こっちにはあるんだよ。ほら、おい。
I'm really bad at these QTEs. Really bad. Which is why I just got knocked out. Oh no, wait. Now I got knocked out. What's really interesting is that the first time that I played through this to test out my disc and all, I missed this entire sequence, and I'm not sure how. I think it's because I got to the travel center earlier, but I'm not sure.
てめえどっかで見た面だな。榎木さん、こいつスカコの葉月ですぜ。ほう。
Yeah, they really wanted to show you the QTE
聞いてるぜ。
the QTEs in the game.
俺に構うな。
そっちにはなくてもこっちにはあるんだよ。ほら。やりやがったな。
Now you can argue that this is actually the first game that really popularized the QTEs that happened like all over the later in 6th and 7th gen,
湯川って人知らないか。
and even into the 8th gen with like
グレー
Rise.
のスーツの人だ。
はい、その人ならさっき見ました。本当で
I
す。
think that's Goro who is in the full game. Actually, I think both this whole thing is in the full game, but he sounds completely different in English. It's just really weird.
おい、大丈夫か。しっかりしろ。
Even after all that, we still have an hour. As I was saying before I got interrupted by that, the game time passes where I think an hour is like either 5 or 15 minutes, but it does pass
いらっしゃい。
湯川って人を探してるんですが。
湯川？この辺の人かい？
いえ、分かってるのはメガネにグレーのスーツ姿ってこ
And
としか。
later on, you actually have like routines where you need to be in a certain place in a certain time. When you have a job, you have to be there at like I think 9 a.m. or whatever, and then you stay until and then noon is lunchtime, and then 5 p.m. is when you leave. It's just like it's more of a life simulation adventure game than a traditional RPG you would assume that you would know, like a Final Fantasy or whatever. I'm gonna have another Coke, because why not? That's like the only thing you can spend money on right now, because the convenience store is not open. And in the full game, there's the possibility of a winning can. I don't think there are any winning cans in this, in the demo version. Whatever. As I say right here, you're just really just passing time until 4 o'clock when you can open that door. Yeah, that's one thing the Dreamcast version was actually pretty well known for. Is the fade in where characters would just fade in and out really relatively close to you. It does kind of break the immersion, but it's pretty much the only way the poor Dreamcast could do this game at all. So yeah, we got about 15 minutes. And now, the control is interesting. I'll talk to Nozomi again, I guess.
葉月くん。湯川って人見かけなかったか？見てないわ。まだ会えないの？ああ。ごめんね。できれば私も手伝いたいんだけど。
Ryu and Nozomi should totally get together. And that's it. Finally. That's it. That's the final thing. End of story. I ship it. It will not let you in this damn door until 4 o'clock. So I'm just gonna stand here for the next, like, 8 minutes. As you can see, I mean, you can see the bottom corner. The clock moves. There we go.
Oh, Yukawa-san ですね。
まさか。ダメだ。これだけ渡せない。違うんです。
Now I think this QT is actually also in the final game, but it's not Mr. Yukawa. Yukawa's not in the game at all. I'm still bad at QTs. Yeah, I think it's a different character that they just put in Mr. Yukawa instead of whoever that was. I don't remember offhand. spin move.
湯川さん、やだ、捕まってたまるか。待ってください。
Okay, now we're back in the arcade. Finally. Of course the video game thing would end in the arcade.
Yukawa だな。必ず来ると思ってたぜ。しまった。さあ、ディスクを渡してもらおうか。
この人に手を出すな。
なんだってめえ。君は一体。
ある人物からあなたを守ってくれと頼まれたんです。
頼まれた？一体誰から？もしかして君が葉月君か？
俺に頼んだのは後藤義雄という。
そうか、後藤義雄か。いやー、助かった。これでシェンムーを発売できる。
シェンムー。
シェンムー。
Trust me, in 1999, these graphics blew gamers away.
Yes.
So yeah, that's essentially what Shenmue is. It's a taste of what Shenmue is. If you, as I said before, if you can find a copy of the real game and a Dreamcast or an Xbox for the second one, definitely go ahead and do it. If you can't you really want to find a way to play these games. So that's my plea. Remember, just try and get $1 more when Friday comes around. Now, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Last Call Games.